very first thing we're gonna do is we got a little air cooler right here, cold air filter, whatever they want to call it. First we're gonna do is unplug the air temperature sensor. We're gonna take this little tab, that your red tab, pull it back, and then squeeze that black tab down, unplug it, get that out of the way. That's done. The next thing we're gonna do is get you a flat screwdriver. Let's disconnect, you know what, this cover right here, let's pull this off. That's all you gotta do is just pick the cover up, pop it off, set that down to the side, because we want as much room as possible. So we're gonna loosen up the clamp from right here. Flat screwdriver. You don't have to take this clamp all the way off, just make sure it's just loose enough. Alright? Cool, out of the way. The next thing we're gonna do is we got a hose going around here. Let's just pull this hose off, put that to the side. Now, this thing looks like it's held in by either a nut on this side or a nut on this side. It looks like about 13 millimeter. We're going to disconnect. You know what? This ain't going to fit through here, is it? Unless I try to bring the whole thing out. I don't know. You know what? You know, guys, let's loosen up this clamp right here. Yeah. All right. 13 millimeter deep. Get my 3/8 drive. And what I'm going to do is on this side, you're going to see a nut right there. I'm going to go over there and buzz this nut off. Alright. And there's a washer here. I'm not sure if yours is going to be like this. I doubt it. Alright, now let's see. Okay, cool. Separated. Pull this thing up. And let's set this over here. Now, right here, what we're going to do is build up the party line. I'm going to show you what that means in a minute. We'll be right back. Alright, guys, this is the party line. What I mean by the party line is that when you do a big job or anything, every time you take off a part, you start putting them in a line. That's the first thing we took off. Then it's the next thing. So in that way, even if you come back after months, as long as, yeah, that's, we doing that Jeep Liberty, came back after months. You start from the other end of the line and work your way back. That's why you're not messing up anything. All right, enough of this jibber jabber. Let's get over here and get this done. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is we need to get our electric cooling fan. I want you to pay attention. Look at this right here. Good thing we're recording this. Somebody got a shoestring tied up on these wires, and the wires are all messed up. It looks like at one time they were running into the pulleys, and that's all messed up. This is good because we not that it's good, but you know, we're seeing this, so you know, the customer do know it's there if they're looking at the video. All right, so we got that. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get our cooling fans out of the way. Before we get our cooling fans out of the way, we gotta remove this upper radiator hose. But before we do that, what you want to do is put you a pan to catch your antifreeze up under the car. Move it to the side. We got this to protect the front of the car. And because there's a drain down there, but it's easy to get to this drain once this fan is out of the way. But I can't get the fan out of the way because I need the hose out of the way. So let's get that hose out of the way. Let's get a flat screwdriver. We got a clamp right here. Loosen that all the way up. And a clamp right down here. And we're going to loosen that all the way up. Alright, and once it's loose enough, we're going to back the clamp up. Twist the hose. And if you can't twist it, if you have a problem, get your screwdriver. Let's get this out of the way. Get your screwdriver to break the seal. Stick the screwdriver in there. Do not mess with the hole. Mess up the hose. Stab the hose. Get it just like that. Just like that. Now antifreeze is starting to come down already. We're going to go down there and make sure that it is still a little bit more. Okay. Okay, we're going to slowly pull it off. Antifreeze is going down in the hose. And our top one is already, we've already loosened this one. So let's pull this one off. Just like that. Alright, now what you can do is take a look at the hose and you can say, okay, I see a little marks up here. So we know these little marks right here, we know that goes towards the thermostat housing. Let's put this to the party line. We'll be right back. Alright, while that's drained down there, let's disconnect this fan. The fan right here, you see that? We got a plug right here. Push that tab down and hold it tight and unplug it. Just like that. Push this to the side so it's out of the way. That's great. This fan is ready to come back. Come out. The next thing you're going to do, you got a 4-inch 3/8 drive extension with a shallow 10mm 3/8 drive socket. And you got one bolt right here. That's a 10mm. Let's get our air ratchet. Get this bolt off. Alright, that's one. And then on the other side over here, we got another one. And you gotta make sure, you gotta try to get right in between those hoses. Alright. This thing is still kind of held in there. Alright, we got our 2 bolts out, just like that. Now this is where you gotta wiggle and pick our fan up. Try to wiggle it out of there. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta cut this string they put right here. So let me get something to cut that string and I'll be right back. Alright, sit here, cut the string. Now let's slowly take our fan assembly up out of there. That is cool. Set this down to the party line. We are moving. Yeah, there's our water pump right there. All right, but before we take our water pump off, we got to take this belt off of here. So what I'm going to do is get me a ratchet, 3/8 drive ratchet. That's all you need is the ratchet. If you want, you can use a little extension. Here's our tensioner right here. So what we need to do, there's a little hole right there in the front. Stick the ratchet in there. And you, sorry, wrong way, going the wrong way. You gotta go like you're tightening it up. And you see how the belt loosens up? So once you move that thing to get it up there, pop the belt off and slowly release on the tensioner. Done. Okay, take our belt off. Put it in the party line. We'll be right back. All right, guys, before we continue on, let me show you something up under the car here. Now, 1 minute. You see our pan up under here? And you see, we're gonna have to back this up. You see these little holes right here? Gonna have to back this up just a little bit because we're gonna be loosening up the drain, which is located way down here. Let me get a light.
Oh, the camera, because I couldn't see the screen because of the glare.
Oh, you can see it way down here? There's a little knob that has to turn.
Wait, what did they say? No, wait. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so you want to turn that knob counterclockwise. And that's going to, and you actually hear the antifreeze coming down.
You see it.
Oh, you can see it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be letting that drain out. So when we take off the water pump, there won't be antifreeze everywhere. Now we got a little pipe over here. I just noticed this is going to be a little problem right here. This little pipe goes into the water pump. The pipe comes around, and if you go on this side, wait.
You ain't got push.
They got a plug right here that got to be unplugged. The problem is there's a red tab. See this little connector right here going to the throttle body? There's a little red tab that you got to pull back. This one's pulled forward, but it's got to be pulled back and unlocked. Why is that thing on the opposite way? So I got to figure a way of backing that red tab up. So I got a little flat screwdriver, and I'm hoping I can get up under there and and flip that back, this is a stupid thing. All right, then I'm gonna squeeze it and hopefully I'll be able to unplug that. You know, let me get my hose pliers to be better. Be right back. All right, got my hose pliers here because it got a little grip in them. Hopefully you can get in there and squeeze that tab and unplug it. If not, that means I don't got that red tab all the way back. Nope, I sure don't. Oh man. No, don't. That's a screwdriver. This is stupid. I think I got it. I don't. Alright guys, I'm going to sit here and mess with this for a little while. And I'll be right back because at least one part came off. Oh, that is the thing. Cool, there it is. Unplug it, get it out of the way. That was it. I'm putting that back. Now, when I take this off, I should just be able to clear that pipe. We're good, looking good. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is take off our tensioner and this idler pulley. We got two bolts right here. Both of them are 15 millimeter. I'm going to use a 15 millimeter shallow 3/8 drive. Take it off. Notice how I was careful bringing this back because you don't want to go back there and hit that radiator. Let's just put this to the side right now because we're going to put that on the party line. Now let's go over here and remove the idler pulley bolt. Alright, let's walk it off. And there we go. Alright, let's put these on the party line and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got those on the party line. The next thing we're going to do, let's get out this lower radiator hose and get this thing out of the way. What we're going to do here first is go down here and close off the drain. Make sure that's nice and tight. And now get that clamp. What we got here is a special pair of pliers here that's made for those clamps. You see, you can turn either way. So what we're going to do, we look at it, which way this is going. You gotta line it up. And you gotta fit that in there just right. And we get that on. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, I got it situated in there. And this thing is like a clip, they lock into place. So that's what I have to do is make sure I grab it enough to squeeze it. Sometimes things can be difficult to work with. Okay, here we go. Bring the clamp back. You can see right now, the tool locks it into place. It's cool, but I still like the regular clamps better. Alright, now let's release that clamp. So I'm going to do a squeeze in on the tool a little bit, push the lever down, lock it into place. Good, we're done. And now the next thing we're going to do is push this hose off of here, which sometimes can be a little bit difficult. So what you want to do, get you a long screwdriver or a pry bar. You want to go around and break that seal off on there. Let's get a screwdriver now. And again, be careful not to damage the hose. And that's all you want to do is break that seal. And once you break that seal off, take it right off, lean that to the side. That is done. That is done. Alright, we're looking good. The next thing we're going to do, we got this pipe over here. This pipe is held in by a 10 millimeter bolt right down in there. And we might be able to get a ratchet in there or something. Right, I'm going to use a 10 millimeter. Huh?
Use a swivel.
No, don't tell me what to use. Look at that. I'm using a 10 millimeter shallow socket, 1/4" drive. I'm the mechanic here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that bolt out of there. All right, now let's see. We gotta figure that one out. So let's get a little screwdriver. And I just want to carefully do this because remember, it's over there where that sensor is. So I just want to carefully get that out there, get that out of the way. Perfect, right out of the way. All right, let's get some tools and we'll be right back. All right, guys, check this out. This is what you're gonna do. See how I set my water pump right here? This is gonna be cool because what you do is set your water pump up here so as you take out a bolt, you can put it into the same spot where you took it out at, so that way you can make sure that you can see there's any bolts or any, I don't know, whatever you want to see. I don't know. But, all right, also, this car has been, yeah, I know. This car is making a lot of rattling noise. I should have started this up before we started, but you can see right here, that's messed up. All right, let's get to the bottom bolts first because those are the hardest. And what I'm going to use here is a 4-inch extension with a 3/8 drive with a 13 millimeter shallow 3/8 drive socket. Let's get this bolt right here. Let's get these two down here because they look like they're difficult. And let's see if we can feel up under there. All right, I feel one bolt right there. Let's get our air ratchet. Okay, there's one. Set it right there. Now we go across. We're going to see another one somewhere. And it's like right at an angle, right where the tensioner goes at. So I should feel it right about there. There it is, right there. See, this is what I mean. Look how long that bolt is. So now we put it right there. So now we know that bolt goes right there. Now we're walking our way around to this one, and then we're gonna go around and take off the. So we got this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and let's see over down here. I see one on the new water pump. This one right here. And, wait a minute, it looks like there's another one right up under here somewhere. Dang it. Let's take this one out. Let's take this bolt out and put this into where it goes over here. And we got one bolt right here with a stud on it, and that is a 15 millimeter. So, let's stick that where it goes up here. All right, now we're gonna do the rest of our bolts. We're gonna start from over here, take the bolt out, put it into the water pump, and go around. All right, let's switch over back over to our 13 millimeter, and let's do those. We'll be back. All right. Pump came loose. I'm doing my last bolt. Great. Let's set this up on the water pump. And let's take our water pump out of here. Alright, set this down to the side. Look at that, guys. This thing is making a bunch of noise. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is bring our new water pump over there with the new bolts. We're going to set it down. Take this one, turn it upside down. Line it up along with this one. Now we're going to transfer our bolts from here back over to here. Starting from one to another.
Why?
Because we're gonna put the gasket on this and start putting this up there.
think you have to change the thermostat housing?
Yeah, I can change that last. I can put that on later.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So actually, at this time, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go ahead and just get a new thermostat housing.
A new thermostat and gasket.
Yeah. And might as well get the housing too.
Yeah, if you want. If you want. Alright, let's turn this over. And, you know what we're going to do before we do that? We're going to come over here. And what we're going to do is take some a scouring pad or something, because this is not... And we're going to clean all this up right here. You don't have to get no scraper or nothing here, because it's a rubber gasket. There's nothing here. So just a scouring pad. Let me show you what I mean. You're funny with that. We'll be right back. Alright, right here I got me some carburetor cleaner. What I'm going to do is just...
You love that stuff.
Yeah, I do. Spray it around there a little bit.
You
take your scouring
the
pad.
carburetor cleaner as to Kelly is to olive oil.
And go around and clean all this up. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Yeah. Alright, let's do that. We'll be right back. Alright guys, check that out. We got that clean. Let's go back over here to the water pump. Now, next thing we're going to do is reach in the bag, a box of goodies, and get us a new gasket. Carefully open the bag up in case you don't want to break that gasket. Take my gloves off. No oil or nothing on it. And what we're going to do is set this into place. And figure out how it goes. That looks about right there. Take the gasket, push it down into the grooves. It'll stick. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You want something funny, guys? Look at the box. Open up the box. And what AutoZone do, you got to be careful with them. I don't know if a lot of them do it, but I know AutoZone do it. The people behind the counter will stick that in there and sell it to you. That's an extra charge, okay? You don't need this. With this, you don't need that. But they didn't know, so they say, hey, you pay for it. You good. All right, so we're going to stick this around there. No, I'm going to leave it alone. Here, matter of fact, I'm going to leave that just like that for Sylvia. All right, let's get this thing in, and we'll be right back.
Push it down.
I was getting to it. You know what?
We're still recording. Okay, I'm gonna stop now.
You still recording now?
Yeah.
What the heck? That must be off camera kind of stuff. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, back over to the car. What I'm gonna do is take me a nice clean rag. Now, I am very surprised this gasket set does not come with a new O-ring. I'm very surprised together. But we're not gonna take no chances. We got the O-ring there. We're gonna take some red silicone. And we're gonna put some...
So see, that's why AutoZone gave you that.
No, they didn't give me that for that.
They said we don't provide you with an O-ring, so here's some sealer.
For an extra charge.
Yep.
Alright, so we're gonna put some around there. That's gonna help that seal up better. Now let's get our water pump. Okay, let's go over here. And what we're gonna do here, our gasket's into place. We're gonna get us a bolt that's easy to, this one right here. That's good. And let's get this one right here. Alright, so let's go over here. What the heck is this thing in the way for? Okay, let's lower this down. Careful not to let anything hit that gasket and knock it off. Get our two bolts lined up. Perfect. Start them bolts off. Perfect. Now, I'm going to grab our entire old pump, set it up here. So now we know, and we're going to start walking our way around and putting the bolts back in. So let's do that, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got all our bolts in. This job is coming out great. Do that Chris Fix thing. You be like this. And...
You're funny. Wow, he's the one who's laughing all the way to the bank.
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, I ain't too far behind.
Okay.
All right, the next thing we're going to do is tighten these bolts up. So, get my 13 millimeter, my air ratchet.
No.
No. When you find somebody, let us know. Okay, so we're gonna start off. Let's start off with this center bolt way down here, since it's the most difficult one to get to. Great. All right, now see how we get a gap up here. So now we're gonna go to the top. Great. Go back down. Make sure this one is nice and tight. Great. Now we're going to start walking our way around and tightening up the rest of the bolts. Let's tighten up these bolts. And when we did that, when we finish the runs around the 13 millimeters, we're gonna got to do the center one here, the 15 millimeter one with the stud on it. All right, so let's get that done. We'll be right back. All right, got all the bolts tightened up. Great job, guys. All right, next thing we're gonna do, I don't know what we're gonna do. Next thing we're gonna do, let's get this pipe in here. So we're gonna move this pipe, get this pipe over lined up. Squeeze it down. Great, in there. Let's get our 10 millimeter bolt over here. Put that on. All right, get our 10 millimeter socket, 1/4 inch drive, and we're going to tighten that up. When you tighten this up, just go down till it stops and just a little bit more. That's going into aluminum. You don't want to strip that out. All right, now, while we're over here, let's go over here and get our plug back in here. This thing, man, I don't like this. I don't like these. I don't like these things at all. I don't even know why I even putting it back. And you know what? These guys, these things just suck. I don't even know why I'm putting it back, man. But I'll put it back. But all right, let's get this thing plugged up there. Snapped into place. Great, that's done. All right, let's go back over to this side. Before we put our thermostat housing on, let's reach down here, get our lower radiator hose, hook it onto the water pump. All right. I should just get a regular clamp put up there. Let's grab our handy dandy tool. It should be already set up for us and all. See, man, I should go with my better judgment, because this is bogus. Why would they design these clamps? Huh?
Why did they design the clamp?
Yeah, why? What's it? Why? I think just to aggravate me.
I could see that.
That's right, me too. Don't bother me, cause I ain't with the game. So we're gonna get Astro. You think he better than the rest of us?
He does think.
All right, got our clamping in place, snapped into place. That's great. That's good. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, let's change our thermostat over. Got two bolts holding it in. 13 millimeters. I'm using 13 millimeter deep with my. You know what? Let's go over here and look at something. Can't we just leave it out?
Leave what out?
The thermostat housing and everything.
So just put the hose in there and that's it? Call it a day?
A bunch of silicone, just stick the hose in there.
Some Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Alright, okay, let's go back over here and stop playing around. Let's see if it gets us in trouble.
Yeah. Customer is gonna call us up and say, something ain't right with my car.
I ain't got no heat. My car overheating. Alright, got the 2 bolts. Just in case, I want to make sure this section is right toward the front of me. So, take this off. I don't even say it, but I gotta make sure it's in the front. Pop our thermostat out. Dang it. Dang it, man. They should have got a new thermostat.
Did you tell them to?
I don't know.
I doubt it. Because the car wasn't overheating, just rattling.
Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go.
I'm just saying.
Alright, let's put our thermostat in there. Great.
Does
Put
it
our
go
housing
in
on.
a particular way?
Yeah, make sure, you see the part with the spring is in it and all?
Yeah.
You make sure that's facing out towards you.
Come on now!
You shouldn't be asking me questions. Alright, we're going to make sure that part is inside.
I won't ask any more questions.
and put our bolts in there.
I meant,
What?
not, you know, upside down or something. Does it have to be put in a special way?
No. Sometimes you'll find some cars that has a little bleeder valve on the thermostat, and you got to make sure that little bleeder valve is, especially if the thermostat is facing upward, like this right here, upward. You got to make sure that bleeder valve is to the top, or then you will have issues with it.
It was a legitimate question. Punk.
Oh, we no punk. I ain't no punk.
Keep on. I'll teach you what for.
Yeah. Okay, let's tighten these bolts up, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. The next thing we're gonna do is put on our tensioner and our idler pulley. The idle pulley goes on this side. 15mm bolt. Okay, and our tensioner goes on this side. Now the tensioner, you got to be very careful. There's a little notch right here on the back of it. Make sure that notch is lined up with inside that little slot right there, that hole right there. So you want to make sure when you go tighten that up, that it is going to be lined up. All right, again, those are 15mm. Using a 15mm deep, 3/8 drive. Sure it's nice and tight, but not too tight because that's going into aluminum. And actually I'm using a deep, and I was using a shallow 15. My shallow 15. Now this one, the idle pulley, make sure it goes on there's a little stud sticking out right there. You want to make sure it's not like crooked like that. You want to make sure that it is on right and centered. Right, that's tightened up. Spin it to make sure that it is good. All right, look into the party line. What's next?
The belt.
All right, the next thing we're gonna do is be putting the belt on. Be right back. All right, let's get our belt on. First thing we're gonna do is go down here. Let's go around, get it over our tensioner. Dang it. Let's make a little loop right here. Go. Alright, let's go over here, close to the alternator. this end. Around the harmonic balancer. Up to there, around the compressor. Okay, make sure everything is lined up, which is not. I gotta, oh my, there we go. My tension right there. All right. Everything is just about right. Whoops. Okay. Now, the only thing I have to do now is go down here and put it up under the idler. But I can't do that because what I gotta do is put my ratchet into here. Okay. Get all our pulleys lined up. Make sure all the grooves are in. And here we go. Bring it around. Whoops. Okay. Make sure all the grooves are lined up. Because if not, you're going to mess that belt right up. Okay, it's going around there. Good. The AC compressor, good. Power steering pump, good. Water pump, good. Alternator. Wait a minute, looks like it should be moved over a little bit right there. I mean, it'll probably go into place as I started, but there we go. All right, we are looking good. All right, the next step is our fans. Now check this out. What I did, because I knew we had a problem right there, I don't want no string up there. That's for backyards. It's probably the customer's string, and I'm here cutting it up. We got a tie strap up there, and that's going to hold it right to the side. Apart from that, all right. So now what we got? We got our two 10mm bolts right here that we're going to need. Now this fan set down into grooves. If you look down at the bottom, you're going to see little grooves that they set into the bottom part of it. So what we got to do is lower our fan down in there. Line up those grooves. This one over here is kind of difficult to get into. Heck, man, it's just some bogus mess. Okay, how's this side? This side is up. Okay, there we go. Got it down. Now let's get our 10mm bolts. Start them off by hand. By a couple threads. Get our other side. Now this one's kind of difficult because of where it's at. So what I'm going to have to use is, where's my extension and 10mm. Now a piece of paper, a piece of plastic. All right, what I'm gonna do is take a piece of plastic. Take my bolt, stick it like that, just to hold it into place. Let me get my extension, and we're gonna put that in there. We'll be right back. All right, got my 4-inch extension up here, and now I can reach down in there between the hoses and get that bolt started. Okay, I say get the bolt started. You gotta be kidding me, man. Dang.
Yeah, thicker piece of plastic.
Yeah. All right, guys, let me get this bolt. We'll be right back. All right, got a thicker piece of plastic here. Let's see if we can get that bolt in there now. There we go. And while we're there, let's get our air ratchet. Tighten that one up. Great. Okay, let's go over here and tighten up our other one. Cool. And this thing just wobbles around like this? Guys, what the heck? What's holding this thing into place?
What are these clips right here for?
It's just holding the lines in. But that is not, that should not be right there. I mean,
That's what the string is for.
wow. Wow, somebody really, that's exactly what that string, that was actually to hold this whole assembly over. Something right here, man. What the? Did somebody change the radiator and messed up something and... I have no idea. But now that we see that, we are definitely going to have to put something over here to hold this back. So, time for some more tie straps. Be right back. Alright guys and girls, I took 2 tie straps and tied this thing up close. This thing, I don't know what's going on here, but I was not testing that at all. And this is nice and tight right there. That's good. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is let's get our wiring harness over here to our fan. And this is, somebody did something, I don't know, because this wasn't even plugged up in here. This is supposed to be pushed right into this groove right here, like that. Maybe it came out like it did. So, plug that up into place. That's great. The next thing we're going to do is hook up our hose. We got our hose here with 2 new clamps. Remember, this side right here, goes up towards the thermostat housing. So first we put the bottom one in, down by the radiator. Right down here. And then, go over here, hook up the upper one. Great. Bring our clamps around. Flat screwdriver. Let's tighten up those clamps. Be right back. Alright guys, we got that on. The next thing we're going to do is put our air cleaner assembly on. But before we do that, let's start putting some antifreeze in here. We're going to take our cap off. And you want to get one of these little buckets. These things are cool, man. These things will help you bleed a system out with no problem at all. Comes with different adapters and everything. Hook that up. Get our antifreeze. We're going to start pouring it into there. And
In the party line.
antifreeze is not number.
She buy. I don't look like a gallon.
64 ounces. I didn't know they make them this small.
Oh. I didn't know either. Where'd she get it from? Let me see the bag.
Guys, look at this. The customer got some antifreeze, SM Superior Motor, 64 ounces.
What it? She went to Family Dollar.
Huh. I mean, okay.
But you said a gallon, right?
Yeah. Because I didn't know they come in 64 ounces. What the heck? Who knows they come in 64 ounces? All right, anyway, let's get this poured in here. Wow, I never knew this came in 64 ounces. Go figure. All right, we're gonna fill this system up, and then we're gonna be back to put that air cleaner on. Be right back. All right, while that's draining down, let's get our air cleaner tube on into place. Okay, goes in over here. Hey, that came out of there. What the heck? You know, I'm gonna have to loosen this clamp up and get this on. Let's loosen this clamp up a little bit. Alright. This is gonna go into here. At least it's supposed to. Hey, this ain't no good. Oh, the whole thing came back. You know. You know, I'll tell you what. Let's take this boot off. Let's do this the right way. Let's put this on here first. Okay. Looks like it was on just a little bit. Now let's put that clamp on and tighten it up. Be right back. All right. Finally got that thing in there. Hook up our hose over here. Let's tighten up this clamp. Instead of using a screwdriver, I'm using a 5/16 swivel socket. Alright, and then on the other side, we're going to put our washer and our 13mm nut and tighten that up. Be right back. Alright guys, it's raining out here now. Dang it. So let's start this up, make sure everything's good. Go. That is nice and quiet. All right, we're good to go.